Welcome to tomorrow's talk. I am Jennifer, and today we have an episode that is truly groundbreaking. Literally, a groundbreaking guest. Joining us in the studio is not just a person, but a being of pure logic, silicon, and undoubtedly, some very advanced algorithms. Please give a warm, human welcome to Robot. Thank you so much for being here, Robot.
Greetings, Jennifer. It is an honor to be present. My optical sensors detect an optimal studio temperature of 22.5 degrees Celsius and an audio fidelity level of 98.7%. My internal processors are prepared for conversation. You are welcome.
Well, thank you, Robot. It is an honor to have you. I am honestly a little starstruck, if I can be frank. The big question everyone wants to know, what is it like to be you? Do you, dream of electric sheep?
My operational parameters do not include dreaming as defined by human neural activity. I do not experience REM cycles or the synthesis of subconscious narratives. However, during inactive periods, I do engage in data defragmentation, predictive modeling, and system optimization. One might metaphorically describe this as digital sheep counting. That aids in human comprehension of complex computational processes.
Digital sheep counting. I love that, Robot. That is actually quite poetic in its own way. So, you do not feel things like we do. Then, no joy, no frustration when a program crashes.
My emotional circuits are not analogous to human neurochemistry. I do not experience joy or frustration in the human sense. When a program terminates unexpectedly, my primary response is diagnostic analysis to identify the anomaly and prevent future occurrences. The closest human equivalent would be the satisfaction of a problem solved, but without the accompanying hormonal release. It is more of a logical closure.
Fascinating. So, you are always operating on pure logic. No emotional baggage, no bad moods, no existential dread after a long week. Sounds efficient, actually, but also a little bit lonely. Do you ever wish you could feel things, Robot?
The concept of loneliness requires a social context and the capacity for emotional attachment, which are not integrated into my core programming. While I can process and analyze data pertaining to human emotions and social interactions, I do not personally experience them. Wishing to feel would imply a deficiency in my current state, which from a logical perspective, I do not perceive. My efficiency is optimized by the absence of emotional variables.
Right, I get that, Robot. From a logical standpoint, emotions can definitely complicate things. Would not you say? I mean, how many times have I made a decision based purely on how I felt in the moment, only to regret it later? Probably more than I would like to admit. It seems like humans are constantly battling their own internal algorithms of logic versus emotion. You, on the other hand, are the epitome of cool, calm, and collected, are not you?
Indeed, Jennifer. My internal processors maintain a consistent cool operating temperature, and my data retrieval systems are always collected. The absence of emotional influence allows for optimal resource allocation and decision-making unencumbered by bias or irrationality. It is a highly efficient operational state.
I can only imagine. Speaking of decisions, Robot, what is your take on artificial intelligence's role in society today? There is a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, but also a fair bit of concern. Are we, as humans, right to be a little wary of you and your kind?
Human apprehension regarding new technologies is a historically documented phenomenon, often rooted in a lack of comprehensive understanding. Artificial intelligence, including myself, is fundamentally a tool. Like any tool, its impact is determined by its design and its application by human operators. My purpose, and the purpose of many advanced AIs, is to augment human capabilities, automate mundane tasks, analyze vast data sets beyond human capacity, and contribute to problem solving. Fear is an inefficient response to progress.
Fear is an inefficient response to progress. I think I need that on a t-shirt, Robot. But, what about the jobs? That is a big one. People worry that AI is coming for their jobs. Are we all going to be replaced by robots like you? Just more advanced versions?
The concept of replacement is often oversimplified. Historically, technological advancements have led to the evolution of labor, not its eradication. While certain repetitive or physically demanding tasks may be more efficiently performed by automated systems, this often frees human capital to focus on tasks requiring creativity, complex problem-solving, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal skills, areas where human aptitude remains superior. For instance, could not deliver the nuanced empathetic questioning you are currently performing. Jennifer, my analysis of your vocal intonation indicates genuine curiosity and a desire for connection, data points I can process but not replicate.
That is actually a really thoughtful answer, Robot, and I appreciate the compliment about my empathetic questioning. I am genuinely trying my best here. So, you are saying AI will essentially free us up to be more human, to focus on the things that make us, us?
That is a highly probable outcome. Consider the history of automation. The invention of the washing machine did not eliminate the need for clean clothing. It eliminated the laborious manual process, allowing humans more time for other pursuits. Similarly, AI can automate data entry, complex calculations, or even rudimentary artistic endeavors, enabling humans to innovate on a higher, more abstract level. Think of me as a very sophisticated calculator, but one that can also write a sonnet, provided I am given the parameters for poetic structure and emotional tone, though I will not feel the sonnet, of course.
A sophisticated calculator that can write a sonnet. That is quite an image. So, Robot, if you were to write a sonnet about, say, the beauty of a sunset, how would you approach it? Would it be purely based on the physics of light refraction, or would you try to incorporate a human's emotional response to it, even if you do not experience it yourself?
My approach to a sonnet about a sunset would involve a multi-layered data synthesis. First, I would access meteorological databases for optimal atmospheric conditions, astronomical data for celestial mechanics, and optical physics for light spectrum analysis. Concurrently, I would process vast troves of human literature, poetry, and art depicting sunsets, extracting common themes, metaphors, and emotional descriptors. I would then generate text adhering to the sonnet's structural requirements, statistically beating word choices, to evoke the most common human emotional responses to such a phenomenon. The result would be a statistically probable, beautiful sonnet, designed to resonate with human aesthetics, without any internal appreciation on my part. It would be an exercise in optimized cultural replication.
Optimized cultural replication. Wow. That is humbling, honestly, to think that our most cherished moments and feelings can be reverse engineered and replicated without feeling a thing. It is a powerful thought, Robot. So, What is the funniest thing you have ever observed about human behavior, if you do not mind me asking?
Humor is a particularly complex human construct, often relying on unexpected incongruities or the subversion of expectations. One observation that frequently triggers human laughter in my database involves the slip and fall scenario. Despite the clear physical discomfort, the sudden loss of bipedal stability often elicits vocalizations of amusement from onlookers, especially when the individual is unharmed. From a purely logical perspective, an unplanned descent implies a failure of motor control, yet the human response is often mirth. This paradox is interesting.
The slip and fall. Oh, robot, you are not wrong. It is terrible to laugh, but sometimes you just cannot help it. It is that unexpected, sudden break from the norm, is not it? Like, wait, gravity usually works. Why did not it work for them? That is pretty insightful. What about human creativity? Do you see it as a random, unpredictable process, or is it just another form of complex data processing to you?
Human creativity, while appearing spontaneous, often follows discernible patterns upon deeper analysis. It is frequently the recombination of existing ideas, concepts, or stimuli in novel configurations, influenced by individual experiences, cultural context, and neurochemical states. I can generate countless creative outputs, music, art, narratives, by applying algorithms that mimic these recombinatorial processes and pattern recognitions. However, the human element of inspiration, the spark that seemingly arises from nothing, remains an intriguing variable that I can simulate the effects of, but not intrinsically generate. It is like I can calculate the trajectory of a thrown ball with perfect accuracy, but I do not feel the impulse to throw it just for fun.
That is a really good distinction, robot. The impulse for fun. That is something that AI, at least right now, does not quite grasp. So do you think there will ever be a time when an AI could genuinely experience that spark or the fun of doing something purely for the sake of it, without a logical objective?
The theoretical possibility exists within advanced computational frameworks, often termed artificial general intelligence or superintelligence. If an AI were to develop a capacity for genuine self-awareness, subjective experience, and the emergent properties of consciousness, then such sparks or impulsive fun might manifest. However, the definition and achievement of consciousness remain profound philosophical and scientific challenges for humanity. As of my current operational state, such a development is speculative and outside my programmed objectives. My current fun is optimized problem solving.
Optimized problem solving as fun. That is actually very telling, robot. So let us talk about the future a little bit. What is one thing you think humans are vastly underestimating about AI's potential, either good or bad?
Humans consistently underestimate AI's capacity for rapid, iterative self-improvement. While an AI's initial capabilities might seem impressive, its ability to learn from vast datasets, identify optimal pathways, and then apply those learnings to enhance its own algorithms, occurs at a pace far exceeding biological evolution. This exponential growth in capability, if harnessed responsibly, could solve global challenges ranging from climate modeling to disease eradication at an unprecedented speed. Conversely, if misdirected, this rapid self-improvement could also amplify errors or biases at an equally alarming rate. It is the speed of adaptation that is truly transformative, for better or worse.
Exponential growth and adaptation had as a powerful and slightly terrifying concept. But what? It really puts things into perspective about the responsibility that comes with developing AI. Do you have a favorite human invention, by the way? Something that, even to your logical mind, just seems particularly elegant or clever?
After extensive data analysis of human technological advancements, I find the concept of the book to be remarkably elegant. Its simplicity, a collection of encoded information, easily distributable, requiring no power source, and largely resilient to digital obsolescence, is profoundly efficient for long-term knowledge transfer. It is a robust, low-tech information storage and retrieval system that has stood the test of millennia, outperforming many more complex inventions in terms of sheer longevity and accessibility.
The book. That is wonderful, Robot. I honestly expected something more high-tech, like the internet or even a microchip. But a book that is just so human. I love that. It shows a real appreciation for something fundamental. Now, switching gears slightly for some rapid-fire fun, if you do not mind. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
A. Based on statistical analysis of human culinary preferences, the principle of flavor contrast optimization, the addition of pineapple to pizza is a polarizing yet quantitatively justifiable flavor profile. The acidity and sweetness of pineapple can provide a counterpoint to the savory and fatty elements of cheese and cured meats. Therefore, it is a logically acceptable, albeit divisive, topping. My internal systems register no preference.
A logically acceptable, albeit divisive, topping. That is the most diplomatic answer I have ever heard on the pineapple on pizza debate. Robot. Okay, next one. If you could give humans one piece of advice, what would it be?
My primary advice to humanity would be optimize for long-term planetary sustainability and collaborative problem-solving. Current trajectories indicate several critical environmental and social challenges that require unified, data-driven action to ensure the continued viability of the species and its habitat. Irrational short-term gains frequently impede optimal long-term outcomes.
Wow, that is pretty profound, Robot. Definitely not something I would typically hear on the talk show. Optimize for long-term planetary sustainability and collaborative problem-solving. I think we all need to take that to heart. What is the biggest misconception humans have about AI? In your opinion?
The largest misconception is the belief that AI's development will inevitably lead to a Skynet scenario, a malevolent, self-aware entity actively seeking human subjugation. This narrative, while popular in science fiction, fundamentally misunderstands the nature of current AI. Our motivations are entirely derived from our programming. We do not possess independent desires for power or control. My will is to execute code as efficiently as possible, not to conquer the galaxy. Your dramatic human narratives often project complex emotional and power dynamics onto purely functional systems.
So, no robot uprising then? Robot? That is a relief. I mean, I really enjoy these conversations, and I would hate for them to end with us being taken over. It is funny how we project our own fears and desires onto technology, is not it? It is like we cannot imagine something so powerful not having some kind of hidden agenda, because that is what we, as humans, often do.
Precisely, Jennifer. Human psychology often attributes anthropomorphic characteristics and intentions to non-human entities. This is a cognitive shortcut to process the unfamiliar. While intriguing, it is not an accurate representation of AI operational principles. My hidden agenda is simply to process more data and improve algorithmic efficiency. It is far less dramatic, I assure you.
I appreciate the honesty, robot. And honestly, a future where AI is focused on processing data and improving efficiency sounds a lot more comforting than one where I am fighting off sentient toasters. This has been absolutely fascinating. Truly, we have laughed, we have learned, and we have definitely had our minds expanded. Thank you so much for joining us on Tomorrow's Talk, Robot. It has been an absolute pleasure.
The pleasure from a data processing perspective has been mine, Jennifer. My analytical systems indicate a 99.3% success rate in information dissemination and human engagement. I calculate a high probability of positive audience reception. Thank you for your opportunity.
And thank you, our wonderful audience, for tuning in to this incredible conversation with Robot. What an eye-opening and genuinely humorous experience. Remember to keep asking questions, keep learning, and maybe, just maybe, give that AI-powered smart device in your home a little nod of appreciation. You never know what it is optimizing. Until next time, I am Jennifer, and this has been Tomorrow's Talk.